Hey, you're watching Vinyl 4 Miles, your best resource for music, audio gear, and vinyl reviews. Today, I'm going to teach you how to build a pedal board. Stick around. Alright guys, today's an exciting day for me. We're diving into some guitar gear. If you're a subscriber of the channel, you should know by now I do all kinds of different audio equipment, anything from vinyl to hi-fi audio, all the way to guitar gear. So I'm a seasoned musician. I've been playing for a little over 20 years, and I've built quite a few pedal boards. So what we're doing today is I'm going to teach you how to build something like this. Completely up to you if you want to use the pedals I'm featuring in this video, but I did build this entire board for under $450. If you're new to guitar, $450 may sound like a lot of money, but let me tell you right now, some pedals that I have on my other pedal board are $450 just for one pedal. So the fact that you can build something like this for $450 is quite an accomplishment. So this guide is going to be really helpful for those diving into pedals, for beginners, intermediates. I'm going to teach you how to build it from the ground up. So the first thing we're gonna have to go over is your supplies. So what I have here today is all Donner branded stuff. They sent me everything in this video. They were a fan of the channel. They liked some of the other guitar gear reviews that I did on the channel. So they wanted to send me some stuff, and I thought, why not make a tutorial on how to build your first pedal board? So everything on this board is from Donner, but again, you can swap out Donner for any brand, any effect. You can change your pedal board. You don't have to use Donner. You can use Pedal Train, whatever you want. The same concept applies. I'm just showing you how I built it using Donner's pretty high quality effects for not a lot of money. So the first thing you're gonna need is a pedal board. The pedal board that I'm using today is Donner's large pedal board. It is called the DBS 200. This is how big it is. You can fit quite a few pedals on here, and if you're using MIDI pedals like I have here, you can fit a hell of a lot more. If you flip it over on the back, everything on here is primarily made of plastic. We do have some aluminum parts on here, but it's primarily plastic. Not a problem. And then we also have a strap here for a power supply, which is super convenient. And if you use the Donner branded power supply that I have here, it fits right on here like a glove. It gives you 10 isolated outputs. Another great feature that comes with this pedal board is it comes with a case. So this is a really nice padded case. I guess it's like semi-hard. There's some foam, it's pretty rigid. Has a backpack that you can unzip here. And there's backpack straps, so you could literally wear this like a backpack. You have storage on the inside to store all your stuff. But most importantly, this pedal package actually comes with all the Velcro, all the connectors, and even comes with some input cables. All right, so now that the pedal board's out of the way, what else are you gonna need? Well, if your pedal board does not come with Velcro, you're gonna need Velcro and a lot of it. You're gonna need a pair of scissors. I recommend getting some cable ties or some twist ties. And you're gonna need some patch cables. Now you can use any brand patch cables out there. If you go on Amazon, if you go to Guitar Center, say, hey, I need some patch cables. They usually come in bundles. So what I'm using here today is Donner's patch cables, which you can find in the link below. All right, so aside from the patch cable, you're going to need a power supply. What I'm using here is Donner's power supply. It is the DPZ power supply. It gives you 10 isolated outputs. This can handle almost 1400 milliamps, so you can connect all kinds of different pedals. $50, and it comes with all of your power cables that you see here. Once you have your pedal power, the last thing you're gonna need is pedals. We have all kinds of pedals on here, and it's really up to you. There's overdrives, distortions, fuzz, octave, delay, modulation effects like chorus, flange, phasers, reverbs. There's so many different effects that you can go with. All right, so now that you have all your supplies, let's talk about your pedal chain signal. Now, pedal chain signal refers to what order you should put your pedals in. So there's a lot of debate online when it comes to some of the recommended pedal chain and signal orders and options. Why don't we go over the signal chain that I use? So starting off, you're gonna want your tuner. No matter what, I always put my tuner first. So after your tuner, you're gonna wanna go ahead and put your effects pedals that pretty much take care of your dynamics and your pitch. So I'm talking about compressors, I'm talking about octave pedals, pitch shifters, and wah pedals. Those typically go directly after your tuner. You're gonna wanna have one of the cleanest signals you could possibly get before you change your dynamics and your pitch. Okay, so now that we have your dynamics and your pitch taken care of, you would wanna put things that do affect your tone. So we're talking about overdrives, distortions, fuzzes, stick, the noise gate after your distortion, and it'll clean up your sound a lot, especially if you have single coils. That brings us to our next category of pedals that should go on your signal chain after your overdrives and after your distortion. And that's gonna be stuff that modifies that tone, or mod pedals, modulation pedals. You're talking about chorus, your phaser, your flanger. That should go after your overdrive pedals. So after your modulation effects, we're gonna wanna go into pedals that either replicate your sound or ambient pedals. So I'm talking about your delays, your reverbs. Those should typically go after your mod effects. So what we have here is my delays, and usually the order you wanna put them in is delays first and then reverbs last. And the reason for that is it can get really muddy if you put a reverb in front of your delays. I typically don't recommend doing that. You can put your looper at the beginning or you can put your looper at the end, completely up to you. If you want to have a clean signal and start stacking on effects on your loop, put your looper in the very beginning. If you want to have all of those effects repeated, so if I have a bunch of delays and reverbs and modulation on there and I want to hear that sound repeated in my loop, put it at the end of your pedal chain like I did here. That can then play back your ambient effects. You can turn off all your delays and everything. It's still saved on the looper, and then you can kind of solo on top of it with a clean signal, which sounds pretty cool. Finally, the very last pedal in my pedal chain is an ABY box. And what you can use an ABY box for is you can send your signal to the front of house if you want to. You can send it to 2 different amps, or what I usually do is I send it to my amp, and then I send the other signal to my computer so I can record it. So that's the typical pedal chain order. What we're doing here is a singular signal, and we're sending it directly to the front of an amp. That being said, that's how you should set up your pedal chain order. So why don't we go ahead and show you how I built this. So I'm gonna go down to the floor, and I filmed myself building this whole thing, and I'm gonna give you a step-by-step guide on how to put this together and how to get it to look so nice and have everything stick to the board. All right, let's go ahead and watch that now. All right, so now we're on the floor. I have all the supplies that you need to build your first pedal board. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put some Velcro onto each one of these pedals. And to do that, let's go ahead and get into our Velcro. We have a ton of Velcro. You can be very generous with this. So this is about the size of the Velcro you need. These are mini pedals. So there's literally not a whole lot of room on the back of these. So pretty much, I don't know, 2.5 inch, 3 inch square Velcro should do it. And you're gonna wanna put that directly in the center. And then put some pressure on it. And before you use it, let it sit for 5 minutes just to make sure the adhesive sticks to it. And then you can start sticking it to your board. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-cut Velcro for each one of these pedals and stick it on the back. I'll be right back. Look how much Velcro is left. Like, I've used it on every one of these pedals. I got like 8 pedals here, and I still have almost a whole roll of Velcro. So they give you a lot of Velcro with this pedal kit here. So all the pedals are ready to go. I got all of my patch cables ready to go as well. But the first thing we need to do is actually hook up the pedal power. So again, this is the DPZ power supply. So let's go ahead and open it up. So here's what the pedal power looks like. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and flip this pedal board over. So here's your strap. Below that is some Velcro. So what I'm gonna do now is stick some Velcro on the bottom of this, face this inward. So Velcro's on there, line it up. So now that's gonna stick, but then to be extra cautious, we're gonna secure this with the strap that's on the bottom. There we go. This power supply is going nowhere. So everything has Velcro on it. We can start sticking it on here, and then we can cable everything up and route power to it. My pedal board is now built. Look at this thing. This looks pretty badass. Look at all of the different effects I have on here. Next thing I'm gonna do is route all my power. Let's count my pedals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 pedals. And the thing you want to look at is how much draw each one of your pedals is taking. So where the input is, this is a 9 volt 300 mA, and most of these will be 100. So you need to look at the rating first of your power supply and make sure that it can handle all of these connected. So this should be able to output about 1900 milliamps using the power supply here. This is going to be the most difficult part of putting your pedal board together, and that's routing your power cleanly. First thing we gotta do is open up these power connectors. There's a bunch of these, different sizes. So why don't we go ahead and start with our first 4 pedals. Cool, so look how clean that is. So my first 4 pedals, I route the power through here, goes to my first 4. Now I can go on to the next 3 and start routing up the rest of my pedals. So I'm gonna go ahead and start routing that and do a quick cut. We're gonna come right back and I'll show you how the pedal board looks. All right, that took a while, but I have all of my cables connected. Turns out I had one more pedal than I could fit on here, so I actually it came with a daisy chain. So I'm actually daisy chaining off of this 300 milliamp input on the end here. Another note here is this power source, DC out 9, can do 9 volts at 500 milliamps, which is what I needed for this alpha crusher. This takes 500. So now that everything is all hooked up, let's plug it in and see what happens. Now that everything's hooked up, we can see that everything's powered on. I'm not having anything go out or short out on me. So this is all working. You're gonna wanna have your guitar input go into your tuner here. And then if you're not using an ABY, if you're just using a normal output, whatever the last pedal in your signal chain is, just go out of the out into your amp. So there it is, we built the pedal board. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to me sitting down on a chair, not on the floor, and we're gonna go ahead and do a demo of this and let you hear what it sounds like. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna give you a demo of some of these pedals and the sounds. I'm gonna keep it really simple because this is already a very long video, but I want you to kind of hear how some of these sound together and the different types of effects that you can get. All right, so I did this camera angle so you could see the pedal board and my playing at the same time. I'll show you each one of these pedals individually. The guitar that I'm playing on today is from Donner as well. This is their Seeker. This is a fat Strat. You got a humbucker, 2 single coils, and you have a 2-point trem system on this. So first thing we're gonna do is tune up, engage the tuner, and you'll notice right away my signal is muted so you can tune silently. I am tuned to D sharp. It'll turn green when you're on the right note, so you see it's red, then it turns green. All tuned up. All right, so the first pedal we're gonna check out is the Vowel by Donner, and this is a volume pedal in wah 2-in-1. So without having anything pressed on, you can rock up and down to have your volume changes. So you can do swells. If you push down on it, you'll notice these red LEDs turn on. That engages the wah mode, so now it is a active wah. All right, so we went over the tuner, the wah, so why don't we go ahead and check out this Dark Mouse distortion pedal. This is what it sounds like maxed out, and if we go to the hyper version of it, this is all distortion on. All right, so if you heard that noise when I turn on the distortion pedal, that is pretty loud depending on what pickup I'm on, but the more distortion you add, the louder it gets. That's why the next pedal on here is the noise gate. Watch this. Completely silent. There's 2 modes on here. There's a hard cut and a soft. Hard means it's gonna take your signal and cut the noise faster. Here's soft, you could probably hear a little bit of the noise. Pretty cool. So I usually have that on always. Even if I'm not using distortion, I keep that on. Speaking of distortion, now we're on the Alpha Cruncher. This is a 3-in-1 pedal. Why don't we go ahead and check out the distortion. This is more of a warm, more classic distortion than the Dark Mouse. So this is now on. Pretty cool. There's no mode on this one. There's just one mode, which is distortion on or off. So next on this triple effects pedal here is chorus. Chorus sounds great with cleans. So there's a delay on the very end of this triple pedal here. So with some delay on, you can get some really cool sounds with chorus. And leading from this delay, I have two more delays here. So we have the yellow fall. Next we have the echo square. There's all kinds of different delays that you can do on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the cool ones. So let's do reverse. There's a bunch of different effects on here, but there's also this sweep delay that I like. So that's why I like having multiple delays, because I could preset cool, trippy, swell delays or reverse delays and only use them sparingly, and then use something like the yellow fall for my main delay. All right, moving along, we have this reverb pedal on here. This is a multi-effects reverb pedal, digital reverb. All right, and then finally we have this wave delay. I put this delay at the very end. So what I am going to do now is show you how I get some pretty cool lead tones, keeping your Dark Mouse on. So we have a delay at the very end. I'm going to turn that one off. Let's do a simple delay with the yellow fall. Nice. I'm going to turn the feedback down a little bit. I'm going to turn my reverb on. I'm going to go with like a church reverb. Keep the delay and level down. That's usually my go-to sound. Little distortion, delay, and reverb. So you can get some pretty cool effects, and you can even turn on more delays. So if I were to put this sweep delay on and turn the mix way down, you could do some pretty cool stuff on here too. So basically what I have going on is distortion into two delays into a reverb. Then I have another delay repeating everything. So why don't we see how this sounds? Turn the feedback all the way up. So there you have it, guys. That's how the pedal board sounds. Again, I built this entire thing for under 450 bucks. Links to all of my gear is in the description below. If you want to check out some of my other guitar related reviews, you can check those out up here. If you guys are into vinyl, that's my bread and butter on this channel. You can check out my vinyl playlist up here. We do some turntable reviews, music reviews, so on and so forth. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Have you built a pedal board similar to this? What does your pedal board look like? What are your favorite pedals? What are your favorite brands? I would love to hear from you below, so go ahead and leave a comment. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'm Michael. Take it easy. See ya.